So, welcome to the title you were about to see has not been changed. So the title I don't know what the title of this video would have been, but it is not Walking Game Encyclopedia. As I continue to learn OBS Studio and things that you cannot change and post any longer. I hope you enjoy the video. So I just wanted to start this by pointing out that 199 of you have subscribed to this channel at this point, and those are all real subscribers. We don't do any of the paid services, any of the get this many views, get this many subscribes, get many likes. We did that on some other stuff previously, but not this channel. Thank you to the 199 subscribers. So that being said, I wanted to return to this video, to the beginning of this video, because it's and I'm still learning all this stuff too, so I wanted to switch that. I get very distracted. So anyway, let me try this. Right, see, now at least I got that right, and I know when to look in the camera, right? God, patience, and I appreciate your patience with me. Anyway, I wanted to return to this video. My son Robin and I discussing, and just the very beginning of it, and something that's brought up, and then I wanted to talk a little bit more about my thoughts, a little bit more of an expansion on my thoughts that kind of center around the relaunch of the Star Wars Battlefront, the EA Star Wars Battlefront from whenever it was, at 2017, 2018, something like that. So anyway, but let's get started here. And again, thank you for being patient.
Did you want? Yeah.
I can't wait to see you playing Joust. That's
I used to play Joust when I was a little kid.
No. I know. But your mother actually brought up something really interesting. Was the whole idea of the games, and this was really smart. I mean, your mother obviously is not a dumb person, but so I don't mean to sound surprised, but it's very smart for somebody that thinks like she does to begin with, and that she's not into games. Was that the games that were made back, the classic games, were made for you to lose quickly because you had to pay for each one, whereas games that are made today are made for the experience. Didn't have 40-hour games, 24-hour games, 36-hour games back then, obviously, because, I mean, if, Nolan Bushnell, I think it's Nolan Bushnell. Well, you did if you lived in the town
Atari,
of Billy Mitchell or that
basically
crowd.
25 cents for 2 minutes of gameplay, or up to 2 minutes of gameplay. Because if you do the math, there's a finite amount of quarters that are going to go into a machine, in an hour, even if it's steady play. So these games are meant to jump in, and they get harder, really much quicker, in a sense. And there's so much more about your reflexes, and your coordination. Yeah. But I think a different kind of coordination, because of the nature of the controls, your whole body was into it. I will literally, when I'm playing Robotron, if I'm really into it,
you'll just kind of like,
I'm standing there and I'm jumping around. I mean, my heart's racing when it's done.
This idea out there that the classic arcade games, that the 8-bit games, that the joystick and a button games were easy or were childish or weren't very challenging. They weren't. And I'll tell you, having sampled the new stuff, sampled and I know that mechanics play a lot into, you hear people like Angry Joe talking about mechanics, and other people. Angry Joe's just one of the guys that I don't watch a lot of that stuff, but Angry Joe I'll watch on occasion. But the gameplay mechanics, I understand all that, but having played, gone into 3 lives and stay alive immediately, whereas these games, the games today, and maybe the games that I might have played that got into this a little bit more were like Tenchu, Siphon Filter, Date. I know that Date. There's a lot of people out there go, what games, but So the Dark Souls that I'm playing, my son is coaching me through right now, is a very, very different game than I'm used to playing. I played, to me, like Tenchu was the closest thing that I ever played to this, and it's a lot. But I have played the Star Wars game, the EA Star Wars game, and so I kind of got used to that. Plus, I was on PS1 and PS2, and the buttons, and all that, but when I played EA's Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront, and I didn't get a new computer for this game, but because I got a new computer, I actually could play the game, which is, ironically, it's that computer that's now running my MAME. So it's actually more computer than the MAME needs, but it was just enough computer for the EA's Battlefront. I'm getting off topic here. But playing that game, and I wanted to play that game for the immersive graphic. Oh my! You're on Endor. You're in there. Those are real stormtroopers. That's a real blaster you're holding, and and it just the sounds and all of that stuff, because all the Star Wars stuff always sounds so amazing, regardless of what you think of the games or the movies or the whatever shows. It's just the sound is always amazing in those shows or games. But once I got used to it, once I got used to the environment, the gameplay itself was just it. And it's not that classic video games, that arcade games, 3 life games aren't repetitive, but they get harder and harder in a different way, to me, like less of a grind way. And they get hard quickly. Like the older games made you grow up faster. You didn't have oh, look, a butterfly. Oh, look, the raindrop on that leaf looks real. You were like, you're in the middle of here and you're surrounded, or here you're at the bottom and here they all come, and you just have to, here you go. Here's your one little gun, your one little bullet you can shoot at a time. Good luck. Stay alive, So it's... But there was something exciting about that. There was something exciting about playing like that. And maybe it was just a joystick and a button holding in your hand. I mean, the times that you would be like this, because you're trying to, and when you're in the arcade, you're just leaning and all that stuff. I do it here all the time. I think I do it with Robin on Game Guys. I'm leaning almost out of frame half the time, trying to stay away from the big bad boss or something, but the gameplay just didn't keep grabbing me, and I remember I got stuck on. I never played online. I just played the single campaign, which I guess hardly exists anymore. So I wouldn't even really want to play, the newer games as much. I think because of that, I just like to. I want to play. I don't want to spend 4 hours playing a game all night long. I want to sit down and play for 5 or 10 minutes. And I understand that that's my culture too. That's my upbringing. That's what I was used to. But I love movies, and I've actually made a few movies. And so the idea of being immersed in a world, being, slowly coming into it, but that really appealed to me too. It was going to be a different experience, but that appealed to me, and it just wore off a lot quicker. I can go to a game. Well, the game that's up there right now, Robotron, and I know if you don't like Robotron, you're not gonna like this channel, because I talk about Robotron all the time. But that it just gets it gets harder and harder and harder. It's the further I go in that game, and the different things that I try, you still find different things, and I don't know. And I also haven't played the newer kind of games enough to really explore and do all that. And I've seen a couple of videos where people are like, hey, and let's just drive the car around. We've got the timer's going, but we don't have to do our mission. Let's just drive around and see. And it's kind of cool. I mean, that is kind of cool. I find that very interesting. But that's not a game to me. So So maybe it's the experience of games and everything that's changed, but I just there's just such a difference between those two worlds that I didn't really think about, because you get stuck on the graphics, oh the graphics, and it's not the graphics, it's the gameplay too. It's the gameplay too. So anyway, and now I realize I've just been doing this whole thing with Walking Game Encyclopedia on the thing, and I just looked up at it, and I'm like, oh, but I can change that in post, and I can't change this in post because I'm capturing this all live. So this is a whole new experience for me. So mystery title, fortune cookie title today was Walking Game Encyclopedia. I guess part 2, because you guessed it. The last video I did was Walking Game Encyclopedia. Anyway, if this makes it online, thanks for watching this long. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear what you think. Please leave a comment below. I will reply to comments. And you have a fantastic day.